Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Upgrade your membership to Gold. You will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Matt Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here, oh, look at Nussflush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Ken. Kenny Ken wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Red Small make a run to be $50?
You son of a bitch!
Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Ken, Smoke and Mirrors, Director 97. Home. That is way. Here comes Jason Meyer, the Eldorado Custodian, Billy Friedrich. Jones one all coming down to the finish.
Coin! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
Get 'em, Jimmy, where Loshak at? The bottle's getting empty, I'm not cracking, we stacking. Chips, all of this, what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated Pub Sports Radio. Time to get educated, Bouquett produce, fade the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They're getting slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and Low Baggers in the chat. That's a legal record, cause we lead. Oh yeah, pubbing. We be pubbing!
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. It's the Tuesday show that we do every Tuesday. Today is October 1st, so today we got the MLB playoffs starting. We're going to do 2 college games with Dabby Cab. We got Sharpie joining us for MLB playoffs. We talked a little bit on the 2 WNBA playoff games, although I don't really have anything that I'm seeing personally in those 2 games. It'll be a good show. Hopefully there won't be any tech issues because I'm using a slightly older, crappy setup right now. So hopefully it'll be okay. Jose, you want to come in here just for one quick second?
You sound great. You look great, Pete.
Okay.
Yep, you sound and look great.
Oh, well, maybe I should use this for future shows. I don't know. What do you think? Better than
you definitely sound different. I'll tell you that, Pete. You definitely sound different, but you look great. Yeah, you look great.
That's all I care about personally. As long as I look great and cool, which is not always, those are highly correlated, but not perfectly correlated. Jose Bouquett. It's going to be good. A good show, a short show. That's what I like. It means I'm fully prepared. I do have something that I think I'm liking. One of the college games we're going to talk with Dabby Cab about, Missouri and Texas A&M. That's a very interesting one. We'll talk with Dabby Cab about that game. We can touch on WNBA, see if anyone in the comment section has anything to say about the two games, but I don't really. It looks like, we can talk about that later on. But MLB, Jose Bouquett, you know how I feel about the MLB playoffs. I love MLB in general. Playoffs, a little dangerous. Like Vito Corleone talking to Salazzo about the drug game. People who bet the MLB playoffs, a little dangerous. Of course, they know what they're doing. They can make a lot of money. The game plans are often very different from regular season. Pitchers will get yanked early. Of course, if they're doing well, then they'll go deep. How do you feel about the MLB playoffs in general in the 4 games today, Jose?
I'm excited to talk about them at least. We have, obviously, like we said, Sharpie coming on.
Yeah.
That'll be a whole lot of fun. I'm actually going to go back right now and check out how I did in the last playoffs. I'm pretty sure I had a winning playoffs in each of them. It's like 14 to 15 bets total. So it's not like it's a big sample or like we're diving too much into these playoffs. But, I'm excited about them, Pete. This is a wide open field this year. There's not one real overwhelming favorite this year in baseball. We obviously have two, people are fallen in love with 2 teams, I think, as their dark horses, as the Padres are the National League dark horse that everyone's going to bet, I'm sure. And we've got the Orioles on the other side, which will be interesting. But, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. And I'm glad that Sharpie's joining us here so we can talk about these pitchers. Because I know, if you're in the playoffs and you're an ace, you're probably on Sharpie's book. So I'm excited to see.
Yeah, one thing that I still struggle with, which I don't really, there's so many things to think about when it comes to betting that I haven't looked into it that much. And maybe there's not a big enough sample size to get anything meaningful. But, pitchers who have historically bad or questionable records in the postseason from previous years, how much does that matter? How much is that predictive of what to expect from them, from those pitchers in current seasons? Of course, Framber Valdez, perfect example of that, right? In 2023, he got shellacked in the postseason. And although in 2022, he pitched well, I think there are some pitchers who just, for whatever reason, rise to the occasion or struggle more than you would expect statistically in the postseason, Jose Bouquett. Or is it just all noise and due to small sample size and variance?
I mean, we have again, I keep mentioning Sharpie, but Kershaw, obviously, on Sharpie's Dodgers, he's someone that got touched in the playoffs.
Right.
I just remember him getting touched in Boston, so maybe I'm a little biased there. But, yeah, I agree. Framber is one of the pitchers that I actually trust more in the playoffs. He had a bad postseason last year, sure, but he's had plenty of postseasons to back that up. I trust him more. And what's interesting, Pete, there's a lot of pitchers that haven't pitched in the playoffs before. So that'll be very interesting. And the Braves, they're probably the most playoff experienced team right there with the Astros. So I expect the Astros to do their thing again. But I'm excited to talk about these games with Sharpie, and let's break them down with everyone in the chat. Obviously, we appreciate you guys all in here as well, dropping your knowledge in the baseball sections as well. Pete, by the way, Pete, I don't know, you're a man of many things. You're a man, shoes, trading cards, I'm sure. All will be available, Pete, in November. Down here in San Antonio, the Alamo Card Show. I'll be doing shows live from there, November 16th and 17th. It's going to be 2 days, cards, collectibles, shoes, whatever you guys want down here. It's going to be a nice little setup. I'll be down here hanging out with some of the Pub Sports crew down here. So come on down. It's going to be a lot of fun. Pete, I know you're in the line for little Shohei Ohtani rookie card. I'm sure you've got that in your vault somewhere.
I don't know. Jose Bouquett, one of my hallmarks has always been honesty and transparency, Jose Bouquett. I'll tell you this, even though it kills me, a little bit cathartic here. I had a Bob Gibson rookie card.
Yes,
somehow got stolen
this.
in one of my moves from apartment to apartment, which is okay because I am a Buddhist, so I don't have any attachments, including the Bob Gibson rookie cards. But if I weren't a Buddhist and I did have attachments, I would be attached to that.
I'm about to look up and see how much that is worth right now.
Well, it depends on the condition. If it's in great condition, worth whatever, $5,000, $10,000. It was in crappy. Mine was. I don't exactly know what kind of. It was not in crappy condition. I'm sure it wasn't in. I'm sorry.
I'm looking at eBay right now, Pete. $400 at least. Oof.
Oh yeah, in good condition, in top condition graded, it would have been worth a lot more. Mine, I don't know. Probably when I told you that story, Jose Bouquett. I was like, I won't tell you this story. I won't waste all our time. But yeah, it's gone. But that's okay. That's okay. Car Clan 77. I immediately Google how to become a Buddhist. I want to be like Peter. Yes, the secret to being a Buddhist is to recognize that you already are one and always have been. I think. No, I just made that up. Although it's possible that it's true. Anyway, we're going to get to MLB. If we didn't have Sharpie coming on, I would be telling people to, just look for have fun, maybe click off the video, do something else. But with Sharpie coming on, stay tuned because we're going to break the hell down out of all these games. And Sharpie here, last playoffs, 72%. 72% on Sharpie, which, look, if you do your homework and you know what to look for, the playoffs are the best time of the year. No question about it. Sharpie does his homework. He knows what to look for. I can't wait to hear what he has to say. Yeah, because we have Skee Ball coming. Obviously, the first thought would be just auto bet Skee Ball, but maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see what Sharpie has to say about it. Let's see what people in the comments section. Viper NB, Houston -1. Okay, so he's expecting that at the very least, Framber Valdez won't screw it up. Let's see. I get money. I like the Brewers today, but haven't bet it yet. I was thinking that way as well, but maybe that's a sucker situation. Let's see. What else do we have? What else do we have here? Let me see. Comments. COR Clan 77 says Skee Ball gives up 1 or 2 runs. Then the Astros win the game outright. Tigers are not touching Framber. Okay. Let me just look at the comments, see what anyone. Shout out to JPZ in the comments section. And let's see. Yeah, the only real comments are Houston, like in Houston, from a few guys. And then is it Ian Anderson for Atlanta, Jose Bouquett?
I've got Max Fried.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I've got Max Fried on my books listed as well. So I believe
because I saw Ian Anderson, which was weird because he was not. He was okay in the minors. He had real control issues, and I was surprised to see that. But okay, well, we'll talk about that game when we get to it. Let me see. Comments. Oh, Justin McElvey, Stacks play of the day. Aces. Okay, +2 first half. Yeah, of course the Liberty were successful in holding down Vegas last game, and the question is Vegas going to be able to make any adjustments? I have a question mark. Vegas first quarter, maybe. But I'm not 100% sure that they'll be able to do that. But Justin McElvey, liking the Aces to at least figure it out in the first half, +2, makes some sense to me, although I didn't bet that one for sure. JPZ heard Fried, then Elder, now Anderson. Now JPZ thinks it's going to be Elder. Well, I don't know. I don't know who the fuck it's going to be. We'll talk about that when Sharpie gets here. Nasty Nate, shout out Nasty Nate. And Sharpie, it's Elder. Wow. Okay.
That's funny. I still have Fried listed on my books as well. So this is obviously going to be a very interesting game here. We're going to talk about soon. I keep refreshing.
Says it's going to be Elder. That's my bet. That's going to be Elder. I wish we could bet it. Ski Profit in the comments section. Ski Profit. Hell yeah. Congrats on all your success in the NFL this year. And Ski likes minute. Yeah. Okay. Yes. That's what I was thinking too. But I didn't bet it because they're a big favorite here, 5 points, which in the playoffs is a huge line, obviously. And the question is, are they going to be able to change things up in game 2? I think so. That's definitely the way I was leaning. But the favorite line, made me nervous, and then I was like, well, why don't I just take the money line? If it wins, there's no juice, right? Minus 300 or whatever. No. I'm experienced enough that I don't do that. But Ski Profit like in Minnesota to take game 2. Of course, Connecticut did win game 1. And the problem is just that this Marina Mabry for Connecticut, it looks like maybe she can't be stopped. She came over mid-season, just downing everything from 3. Did it the first 2 games in the last series too. And if you've got someone like her who can't be stopped from 3, then that's a I don't know how they're going to deal with her, but presumably they'll be able to figure it out. Yeah, it does seem like Minnesota's players their top players underperformed in game 1 and should be able to turn it around in game 2. It's just a 5-point spread made me nervous, and I was also leaning over in that one as well. The very low total of 151.5. But we will talk about that. Great to see Ski Profit liking the links today, and let's get to it. How about it, Jose Bouquett? You ready?
Yep, I'm ready. This is gonna be a fun game.
Yes,
fun games.
4 MLB playoff games. I don't know how many Sharpie's going to be here with us for. Is he going to cover all 4, Jose?
He's at least covering the first 2.
Let's get to it. Everyone, welcome to the show, the Odds Bunch. Sharpie.
Hey, let's fucking get it, dude.
Let's fucking get it. Great to see you, Sharpie. Is he on?
Yes, sir, man.
Yes, you are on, but you're frozen currently, Sharpie. So you've got a good. Give us a refresh real quick. Yep, there we go. He'll be back here in a second. He was a frozen snare.
Sometimes it happens. Maybe that's a sign that Scooble's going to give up a home run to the first batter. Who knows? But yeah, there you go. And now he settles down. Like a classic elite all-star. Maybe gives up a home run to the first guy and then throws 8 shutout innings after that. Shout out to you,
bro,
Sharpie.
Asking for perfection is absurd, bro. 1 or 2 runs is okay.
That's another Buddhist concept that I live by. Asking for perfection is absurd. It absolutely is. I see you're an O from Sharpie. We got to start the show respects to Pete Rose, Charlie Hustle, passed away. Sometimes it depends where you're born, where you're born, when you're born. Pete Rose bet on baseball. We all fucking do that. Of course, he was playing, but that was a little chintzy what they did to him, in my personal opinion. Sharpie, what do you have to say about Pete Rose?
Pete Rose, man. If it's anything like Prison Dog, he's getting into the Hall of Fame now, guys, because it was a life sentence. His life is now over with. And this is what's fucked up is he even in his last freaking interview a couple weeks back said, if they're not going to put me in this while I'm alive, don't do it while I'm dead. Mm-hmm. So we probably won't. But knowing the MLB and how crappy and how shitty and how just terrible the Hall of Fame already is. You got racists, you got bigots, you got all types of crap in your Hall of Fame. You've got cleats from Charlie Hustle in there. You've got hats. You've got everything to do with him but him. Go fuck yourself. Get yourself right, MLB.
There you go. Couldn't have said it any better myself.
By letting in Barry Bonds. Stop this bullshit.
A sports guy, one of the bookies that he used to bet with, gave me a present once. It was a signed baseball that said, "I'm sorry, I bet on baseball." Signed Pete Rose, but I gave that one away. So, but I did have that.
Probably could have got brought in if he would have went and said, "I'm sorry, I blah 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 blah." No, he went and endorsed gambling sites and was the front page of it and living in Las Vegas. Like, oh, bro, dude, like you didn't even do much to help your cause.
He chose to live with integrity, and a lot of times you pay the price for that. You know what I mean? You get rewarded maybe 50 years after you're dead, or maybe even 2 days after you're dead. But while you're alive, living with integrity can be very, very, very treacherous, especially if it costs other people money or reputation. All right.
Shout out to the Matumbo as well, dude. We lost another legend, bro. So it's weird how people die in threes. I know somebody else died yesterday. They just probably weren't in sports, so I don't know them. But to lose 2 studs like that on the same day, whoa.
Maybe it was Jose Oquendo, shortstop for the New York Mets. No, I don't know. He wouldn't be a third in that one. He would just be another dude. You guys remember? I don't know why that came to me. I hope I don't jinx him. All right, yeah. Shout out to Matumbo. That was a bad dude right there. Loved. Oh man, absolutely. All right, let's get into it. We bullshitted around enough. Let's see what we got here. First game on the card. Detroit and Houston. Detroit, a pretty sizable underdog with Scooball starting. First thing I thought, I'm sure first thing everyone thought, I'm sure the books know that everyone like us is thinking that Screwball as an underdog, I don't care who he's facing. That's tempting, at least first 3 or first 5. Screwball, though, faced Houston twice this year and actually did get hit a little bit, He was not lights out against them like he was against most of the other teams this year, just 2 appearances, 13 innings, but still, he got some strikeouts, but he gave up a bunch of runs in 13 innings. Of course, Screwball in general is less good on the road, but Houston can be a nice pitcher-friendly park. And then Valdez, I don't know, really good at home this year, but again, 2022 great in the postseason, and 2023 last year got knocked around, and especially when it mattered and it was not good. Valdez, of course, has been awesome in general this year. I don't know. I have no idea. Before I hear what you have to say, Sharpie gave me a free bet. I'd probably throw it on Detroit as a dog, first 3 or first 5. What do you think, Sharpie?
I'm going to tell you my reasoning of why Framer Valdez was gassed and tired last year. I mean, that was 3 straight years into the postseason with no break. The dude was literally just going from postseason to spring training, just nonstop. And his second half of last season was his worst half of any season in the last 4 years. He had an ERA above 4 going into last year's playoffs in the second half of the season. He just wasn't right. Now we get Framer Valdez when he is right, guys. And we got us what most people think is the best pitching matchup of the day. But we'll talk about that one in the next game. This game, we have 2 ground ball pitchers in a place where I like to back them. Screwball is 2% better than league average, while Valdez is 12% better than league average when it comes to ground ball percentages. So obviously, the first place I looked in this game was the under 6.5. So when we look at how each team is hitting lefties the last month of baseball when it's actually meant something, we have the Tigers, who are walking better than league average, yet striking out 31% of the time and cannot hit their way out of a wet paper bag. Now, the Astros, they're also walking league average. They're not striking out just 19% of the time. And on the other side, they do have a top 10 isolated power. Now, I will be the first to tell you good pitching beats good hitting any day of the week.
Yes.
And when we look at the past history, Valdez seen the Tigers at the beginning of the year where he went 7 innings, gave up 2 runs. Screwball's seen him twice this year, going 6.1 innings in each game, giving up 2 and 4 runs respectfully. I was on the game where he gave up 4 runs. It was 1 bad inning. It wasn't a bad game. He was lights fucking out except for 1 inning, guys. So all in all, I see 2 guys showing up today, giving up 2 runs or less each, and then we head to the pins. And we do have a clear advantage if we're going to go by the numbers and see the Tigers are a top 5 bullpen over the last month. Now, I'm going to also tell you that the Tigers' numbers are a tad bit fraudulent over the last month of their bullpen. Meaning, if you look at the top 5 teams' bullpens over the last month, you're going to see Cleveland, Kansas City, and Detroit. Not telling you Cleveland's bullpen ain't good, but they're not 1.20 ERA good, guys. That's what I'm getting at. They played their division the last month of baseball. Cleveland, Kansas City, Detroit all cannot hit themselves out of a wet paper bag right now. So maybe these guys' bullpens are just a tad bit fraudulent is what I'm going to get at on the Tigers side. So all in all, I do expect a close game, an under game, yet I would not be surprised if this shit is tied after 9, but at least we won't have a stupid ghost runner roll. So I go check the first 7 total, and it's minus 160 to the 5.5. And if you don't hate juice, I think that's the no sweat bet in this game, guys. But I do have an advantage in this game that I cannot ignore. And that advantage is Valdez at home. This year, he's had 15 games at home. One of the best ground ball pitchers and one of the best ground ball environments. And Valdez is 11-4 to his outs over at home. Take out the division games, and he is 9-1 to the over 17.5 outs. And if you want to get fucking cute, take out the first game of the year, and he's 9-0. Give me Framer Valdez's outs over 17.5 at minus 110 and a 9-1, 9-0 type spot, firing on all cylinders. And that's the first place I got in. That is a full unit bet. Now, I did go a half unit alt parlay as I like to take these team totals up and I like to take them under. So I have the Tigers team total under 4.5 hooked to the Braves team total under 4.5 at a minus 126. I don't think neither scores 3 today, But just in case they score 4, I'll still be good. If you follow me, you know when I alt stuff, I'll always have juice on it. I'm a safe rather than sorry type of bettor. I don't care about even money. I care about cashing my fucking bets.
Wow.
Now,
Good.
another bet I am looking at that I just haven't pulled the trigger at, but I'm probably going to get in on is the first 3 under 1.5. We have 2 pitchers. If you go through first and second time through the order, you have nothing higher than a 2.25 ERA from both of them. This is when they shut people down, guys, is in the first. You're going to get to them the third time if you're going to get to them. So I am leaning the under 1.5 first 3 right now.
Yeah, so you like the first 3 under, you like the first 7 under, but you don't like the first 5 under.
I think the first 5 under is right on, man. What is it? 3.5? A 3? A
3 at even
game?
money, or you can go 3.5 at like minus 140.
A 2-1 ball game is definitely in the freaking cards, man. To ask for perfection is crazy. We started talking that off, but not even talking about baseball. It's absurd. To ask for perfection from both? I mean, can it happen? Yes. But I cannot ask for both these guys to go out there and put up zeros. Like I said at the beginning, too, I think they both give up 2 or less. So I don't want to pick a side when I think they both are going to shove. This under should hit if one shows up, and definitely hits if both shows up.
What about this, Sharpie? Neither team to score 4 runs. Both teams to score 3 or fewer. Plus 160.
I don't hate that. I really don't. I don't think the Tigers score 4 at all. And I know a lot of people are going to be like Scooble and it's the Astros versus a lefty, but they got 4 runs off of him off of 1 bad inning. I mean, if you've seen Scooble's interview coming into the playoffs, if there was a guy I could pick to shove today, it's going to be Tariq Scooble with the amount of emotions and just, he's been backable. He's actually been the better pitcher of the 2 over the last month. If you look at September, Scooble versus Valdez, they've definitely the advantage goes to Scooble, but first time through the lineup, there is no advantages, in my opinion. They both have a 2.25 ERA or less. So I think that's really that's where I want to attack too, is that first 3. That's the first time through the lineup. Barely touching the top the second time. So
yeah,
I think that's where I want to attack, where they've been their best. I don't expect the emotions to get Scooble out of his comfort zone. He's one of the best strike throwers in baseball. He's going to pound the fucking zone. And we got Valdez, a guy who shines at home, a guy who goes 6 innings in his sleep at home. So,
yeah, well, at Caesars right now, neither team to score 4 plus 160, neither team to score 3 plus 430, if you're nasty. All right, well, I'm going to look at the comments section. Jose Bouquett, what do you think of all this? I mean, I was thinking first 5 under, and I was also thinking Detroit as a dog in every which way, just because seemed more coin flippy than the market was pricing it at. But what do you think, Jose Bouquett? What do you make of all this?
Yeah, so Sharpie, I'll ask you a quick question. What about Scooble's K's? I have 5.5 juice to the over, but I'm seeing 4.5s as well.
Yeah, where's FanDuel? The 4.5?
Let me tell you right now. Let me double check. But yeah, I think that's pretty low, right? And it feels a little more trappy than anything. But I want to ask you. You're the king.
It's low for a reason. I know people who bet the under 5.5 last night. The Astros are a really good zone contact hitting team, really good chase contact hitting team. And when you have a guy like Scooble who's in the zone 7% more than league average, there's going to be contact. Now, he also throws a sinker ball like Valdez. And when there's contact on a sinker ball, on that wet infield, it's an easy out, let me tell you.
Wow. They have 6.5, but plus money, plus 126 for Scooble.
If I was to bet as over, I would wait to get to the second half of the lineup, to get to the back end of the lineup. Because, I mean, Bregman, Tucker, you're not getting those 2. You can get Altuve once, you can get Alvarez once, but that top part of their lineup is so, their hand-eye coordination is fucking stupid. They're just such good contact hitters that even Altuve swings out his shoes, makes contact crazy amounts. So I get it. I get why it's under, but I personally don't like betting strikeouts too much in the playoffs. Like Pete started off. If he starts off bad, they're pulling him. They're not leaving him out there.
Right.
So there's just so many variables. I've at first only had a half unit on Valdez's outs, but then the more and more I dug into it, I had to go full because it's like, yes, it is the first game, but if there's any team who's going to leave a starter out there longer than they should today, it's the fucking Houston Astros. They've done it thoroughly throughout the last few years. They believe in their starters to go 6. They need their starters to go 6 for them to win the game. The way their bullpen is built, they need their starters to go 6.
Yeah. No,
Shout out to JPZ Mally Mal asking, what did Sharpie bet here? I need 100 off this first game. Sharpie likes the first 3 under. He likes first 7 under. And he likes Valdez over on his outs prop, like he just.
I bet the outs. The bet is the outs over 17.5. I got a full unit on that.
So yeah, I mean, if Valdez is cruising, they'll just let him in there with those, pounding ground balls.
I think even if not cruising, I still think 3 runs, 6 innings. If that's the worst case scenario, I still think they leave him out there for that. I don't think they run to their freaking bullpen. Their bullpen is not nothing to write home about. It's the back end guys, and they've got to get it to the back end guys. So 2-0, 3-0, you're not going to your pin. It was kind of like me with Miguel yesterday. I had Miguel's earned runs under 2.5. Thought he was only going 5 innings. But because it was 3-0, the Mets were not going to put in their good bullpen arms. And they were going to let Miguel go out for another and just shoot the dick in the balls, man. Kick me right square in the nuts. But it is what it is. It's playoff baseball to where the managers are going to overthink. And can you trust these managers? And I would say, yeah, you can trust the Tigers manager. We don't really know much of the Astros manager right now. But AJ Hinch versus his old team, man, this has got lots in the background that I didn't even think about.
Yeah, I find that fascinating as well. I didn't really have any side bet on this game, Sharpie, because I agree with you. I think this is very coin flippy. I think both these pitchers are very good. Pete, I think you're right. If I'm betting a side, it's 100% the dog. I just think there's value in the dog in this situation here. But honestly, I think that I've just resigned myself. I might take the under in every game today, and the ones that are going to be scary will obviously be the Mets one and the Braves one, since, saw them play 2 games yesterday. We'll see what their pitching staffs are like. But it seems like the unders are just the move in these games. Now, this is a 6, obviously. We have not had a 6 all season, seemingly. It's opened up at 6.5, and we've gone down to that 6. I will say, Action Network does not have their shit together, so I have no splits for money lines or totals here today because they're just playing slap ass over there, I guess. I don't know. But
the only way this 6 loses, in my opinion, Jose, is extra innings.
Yeah,
I think it's 3-2, 4-2 at worst. Coin flip. Who's winning?
I think if it goes over, it's going to be late, and I think it's going to be the Tigers' bullpen fault for their inexperience. Because Hader's been here plenty of times. Presley, Abreu, they've all been here. They have ice in their veins, and we just haven't seen this Tigers team been there. But if there's been the best manager in baseball for these last few months, it's obviously been AJ Hinch. It's been AJ Hinch. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of motivation for that Tigers team to go out here and win at least 1 game here in Detroit or in Houston. If they win 1 game, I think the Tigers will be just thrilled. So I honestly don't think, if I had to script this series out, Tigers win game 1 somehow, some way. The Astros put their backs against the wall. They have their veteran savvy, and they just win both of the next games. And the Tigers shoot their load here today. Now, by shooting their load, does that mean they're going to score more than 3 runs? I don't know. I don't think so. I think that this is just going to be a Tariq Skubal masterclass, honestly. So, yeah, I'm on the under in this game. It's going to be scary because it's a 6. I'm getting 6 even money, but I'm going to bet unders in our next 2 games here. So it's going to be a sweaty one, but under 6.
All right. In the meantime, we do have the Ron Crawford MLB spreadsheet dog play of the day, and it is the Mets. I mean, I'm sure everyone was looking at that. Or I looked at that, Milwaukee. I was like, hey, you got to take Milwaukee here. The picture that does Severino inspire confidence? Not in me, but something is inspiring at least a bit of confidence in Ron Crawford at the line. He likes the Mets plus 128. Justin McElvey also says Houston gets to 4. That's a strong opinion. And someone else pointed out, which I forgot, Mutombo was also a great person, did a lot of great humanitarian things. I remember reading about that. I can't remember what exactly he did, but yeah, he did a lot of great things. I do remember that. So shout out to Dikembe Mutombo, a bad, vicious dude on the court and a friggin' saint off the court, which is what you want to try to be in life. That is tough, but you want to try. Oh, Sabino Anguilano says Milwaukee wins today. All right. I'll make an official play. I'll take the first 5 under 3.5, -137 Pinnacle. I'll just chuck that one on. Valdez Alex Prop is probably great, and I'll probably tail that officially, but I wasn't thinking that personally. So I'll just make the first 5 under 3.5, -137 current line Pinnacle as an official play, and let's move on. All right, Jose.
Let's do it.
Oh, and shout out to Nutflush Allen. Yes, and he talks about that. The teams that are not supposed to be here playing on house money usually equals more relaxed. And you see that in like the NCAA tournament and everything. A lot of time, those teams that are like, they don't deserve to be here. I think of like Oregon State was like that one year. That is a great point, Nutflush Allen. And I do look for that and think about it in the postseason, and especially in like college sports.
Last year, the Diamondbacks and Rangers, okay, are the two teams that came in and made it into the wild card. What were they doing that the Royals and Tigers are not doing?
Yeah,
they were hitting the fucking ball.
Yeah,
like literally, the Royals lost their way into the playoffs because the Twins fucking went under a bridge and sucked freaking yeehaws for milk money instead of playing baseball. They literally, I was listening to the game because I had their team total under. They started the game off with, "We will celebrate if we both make the playoffs today." Meaning they were content losing. Like,
yeah.
Fuck. So, I mean, I think it also means how are they playing coming into those situations?
Yeah, for real. Okay, yeah, I got a lot of things to think about here on the comment section. Like the Braves, the Mets, the Tigers. Apparently, the Braves and the Mets are both playing with house money. All right, let's get into the next game. KC and Baltimore. You going to be here for this one, Sharpie?
I can talk baseball all day.
Oh, awesome.
You ain't going to bother me.
Awesome. All right, we got KC and Baltimore. Baltimore, decent-sized favorite here. Around -150 is what I saw last night. I don't know where it's moved, and the total was 7, juice to the under. Didn't see where it moved this morning, but Ragans against Burns. And, Burns had 2 starts against KC in April. They were not great, but that was a long time ago, of course. And Ragans had 1 great start at Baltimore in April. Second one got crushed. And, he still remembers that. I mean, it was a long time ago, but not that you would need more motivation in the playoffs, but that is just something to think about. Ragans with longer rest, and someone also actually mentioned that Skubal is not good with 6 days rest. I don't know if that's true. I didn't look at that statistically for him, but Skubal does have it's been a full week since his last start. Someone in the comment section posted that historically that has not been good for him. And, Burns, he was in general good in the postseason, but did have 1 start last year where he got hit. Ragans here with longer rest. And again, KC as a big dog, my first thought is just, again, leaning under. Stronger lean to the under for sure. I definitely like the under at 7. Not sure where it is right now, but, Burns has been absolutely lights out in September, and Ragans should be good again. So, again, I'm leaning KC, leaning under. What do you think, Sharpie?
Yeah, now we get the game I was talking about earlier, guys. When I said the best pitching matchup today is not Skubal versus Valdez, it's
right.
Fucking Ragans versus Burns. And can you tell me the 2 best pitchers in MLB in September? I'll give you a
Burns
second.
one of them.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. Burns for sure. One of them. The other one's actually been better than him. So let's talk. Corbin Burns has a 1.2 ERA this September, yet to be outdone by Cole Ragans is 1.08 in that time span. So we got 2 pitchers at the top of their game getting 2 teams who have been going the wrong way. When we check the Royals numbers over the last 15 days, when it actually meant something, they're the worst team in baseball when it comes to isolated power, with the next playoff team that's in the playoffs being 15th. Pretty much meaning, guys, they don't fucking belong here. They fell into this spot. So that tells me when the game means something, these Royals bats tighten up, and that's not a good thing. Now, what's crazy is the Royals were okay with making the playoffs on a loss, like I was saying earlier. It's not like they were playing good ball, and the Twins just fell off the earth. Now, when we check the O's numbers versus lefties the last month, They're walking league average, striking out 24% of the time with a bottom 10 isolated power. So we got two teams not hitting with two of the best pitchers in the game going today. And you may just be like, so it's first 5 full game under, right? Well, I didn't go that way. I went first 7 under 5.5 at -130. The reason why I did that is I want to back these starting pitchers. If one shows up, I expect one today to go 7, if not both. I expect quality starts from both. And I really think it's a dead under. Now, why not just bet the whole game? I'm not a bullpen type of guy. I know we've got two teams who haven't been to the playoffs. We've got two really young teams. And we seen yesterday in the Braves and Mets game, when the pressure's fucking turned up, the two best pitchers of the Braves just go out and shit themselves. So I don't want to be involved in pressure cooked situations with pitchers who haven't been there to close out these type of games before. So give me the first 7 under 5.5. I want to attack both these pitchers, both these teams not hitting. And if I was to pick a side, it's the Royals. I know they're not hitting. But when Corbin Burns has had his issues, it has been versus good zone contact, chase contact teams, a la the 2 games he did face Kansas City this year. Now, what I'm going to tell you to knock against that is 6 weeks ago, Corbin Burns, his 2-seamer, his cutter started to look like a straight 4-seam fastball. And he switched his grip on it. Shout out to Noli for bringing this up to me. And his cutter is right back to being a cutter again. In those last 6 games of the season, he has not allowed more than 2 earned runs. And those were versus some teams in there with good zone contact, chase contact. So, yeah, I expect both these guys to show the fuck up today. We've got 2 teams really not hitting and 2 of the best pitchers on this planet. When everyone's looking at the Tigers game as the 2 best pitchers going today. No, give me these 2 guys, please, and thank you.
Yeah, Jose, I mean, I think I'm going to take the first 5 under again, and Burns. Yeah, I mean, he was awful in August. I mean, he was awesome in September, but really got crushed in August, and it just shows you how small. I guess it was a mechanics issue and not a strength or under the radar injury issue. Jose Bouquett, what do you think about this one?
So this is a game that might be weather affected. There is rain in the forecast, and it's supposed to rain a bit, but I still bet the under in this game. I agree with Sharpie. This pitching matchup is excellent. We have at least a Baltimore bullpen that is obviously a little sketchy, but they were here last year. They were here last year, and they took their rookie lumps, and they figured out what the postseason's all about a little bit. So, yeah, I do kind of like the Orioles this postseason, and I do think they can dispatch with the Royals in 2 games. They've got Sir Anthony Dominguez closing games, and again, at least he's been there. Cano will be back there as well. And it's obviously time they're cutting the bullshit from their bullpens now. We're not going to see. I know he's not on the team anymore, but like if Craig Kimbrell was on this team, he wouldn't be pitching in the postseason. Like, we're only going to get the A-plus guys here. Same with the Royals, who low-key have a good bullpen as well, with Lucas Ursig closing games. You mentioned the Orioles against lefties. They're 91 weighted runs created plus in the last month of baseball as well. Not good. And guess who's dead last? Again, it was lefties I'm looking at, but it doesn't even matter. Righties,
Don't matter. They're trash.
For last. Yeah. 75 weighted runs created plus against righties in the last month. So under, again, I think honestly, if you took all 4 unders today, you probably hit at least 2 of them. But these are the 2 that I'm taking today. It's just a little scarier betting the unders in the Mets-Braves games because of their bullpen situations. But yeah, under for me in this game as well. I got 6.5. I think at even money again here. Let me double check. Yeah, so both of my totals are at even money, 6 and 6.5 unders. So under 6.5 here in this one. And am I worried about the weather? A little bit, but like this is a case like you mentioned, Sharpie, with the Red Sox the other day. They're not going to start this game and stop it with these 2 guys on the bump. So I'll have faith in their weather tech over there, the grounds 2 in Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing any. I'm seeing a little bit of rain earlier, but at 4 o'clock, you're seeing rain.
Yeah, I'm looking at AccuWeather, and I was just looking at the map and all the bullshit.
Okay,
so.
there's showers, Jose. Let me tell you, since I moved from California to Tennessee, you're playing in showers. Showers is just some fucking pee from God, dog. It's not rain, it's showers. We got showers, which is just sprinkles, bro. It happens all day here in Tennessee.
All right.
You can't go a day without showers right now out here. It just, for randomly an hour, it'll just sprinkle.
I'll tell you what I will do, and then we'll look at the comment section and talk some more. I like unders in this one as well. I'm going to take the first 5 under, 3.5 minus 118 at Pinnacle. And this one, there's high volatility, I think, here statistically here for both starters, and especially Burns, based on my numbers. So if he's on his game, I think he'll continue to be lights out. This one, I am going to take neither team to get to 4 at plus 210. That's the current line at Caesars, but I'm going to take neither team to get to 4 at plus 210. Current line at Caesars. I think that's a decent shot. Neither team gets to 4 at plus 210. Current line Caesars. Probably you can find a better line somewhere else, but I'll just take that plus 210 line for the purposes of this show. Let's see. What else do we have? What else do we have here? Shout out to JP's. Hey. Is he making this shit up himself? Wow, these are good lines there, JP's. We should have a separate show just for that. All right. Shout out to Joey B. Yeah, I'll work on a Tarantino impression. I could do a Tarantino impression easily if I worked on it. All right, let's see. Razor sharp picks. Let's see. Comments. You see anything, Jose Bouquett, that's interesting to you? Sabino Acciano says Corbin Burns is not who you think he is, similar to Raggins, coming from someone who used to see him pitch all the time in Milwaukee. Well, I mean, I thought he was one thing in August, then obviously in September something else. What is he? You think he's going to be fine here, Sharpie, right?
I think he's good to go. Like Noli, like I said, Noli brought it up to me why he's been so good the last 6 weeks. He switched his grip on his cutter as his cutter wasn't cutting no more. It was going dead straight. And we know what Corbin Burns was before that cutter. He was a fucking bomb when he threw a 4-seam fastball.
Yeah.
He didn't become Corbin fucking Burns till his cutter was his cutter. And if you look at his strikeouts over that time, his strikeouts have been there too. His strikeouts have not been there all fucking year. Why? Because his cutter wasn't cutting like it has in the past. Over the last 6 weeks, that shit is dancing. And I mean, he just coming off of a game where the Yankees were playing to still win, and he dominated them. So I expect nothing less than domination coming from Burns today. But to ask for perfection, no. But I think the very worst situation that I'm sitting in is 3-2 after 7. And I don't even think that's going to be there. So that's why I went with the 7, because I was like, well, the total's a 6.5. You're going to give me 2 innings off? Go fuck yourself. Those are the most pressured situations in a playoff game. Well, the first and the last, but still, those 9th innings can get shaky. But at least now we know we don't have ghost runners.
Yeah, I'd much rather have the first 7 there, Sharpie. I don't have first 7 markets available because I'm a big dumb bitch, but I'd much rather have first 7s for that half runoff, honestly.
Well, Sabino Anguiano saying, I'm telling you guys, Milwaukee today. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm copying and posting that. Sabino Acciano going up directly against the Ron Crawford MLB spreadsheet play of the day. And Nate Dogg 420 likes KC plus 1.5 and KC first 5. Fernando Mendoza liking the Brewers. People itching to talk about that friggin' game. And
well, Pete, let's get to that game because
let's get to it. All right,
I'm
just looking at comments. I'm just trying to see
what's the vibe of the city like, Pete? But your boots on the ground, or Mets fans going crazy out there? Or is Queens in song, Pete?
The vibe is the same as it is every day. With filthy, unpleasant, nice if you're rich. That's basically the vibe of New York City every fucking day. All right, I'm taking 2 bets on this game, and if I get screwed, I get screwed. But hopefully it'll be okay. All right, next game on the card. Let's get to it. Mets Milwaukee. Spreadsheet underdog play of the day is the Mets at plus 128 from Ron Crawford. Bunch of people liking Milwaukee, including Fernando Mendoza and very strongly Sabino Anguiano, who's like frustrated that people won't listen. He's like, I'm telling you guys, Milwaukee today, and I'm telling you guys, opinion here from Sabino Aguiano. The Mets, of course, played the doubleheader yesterday, Severino against Peralta. Overall, both of these guys kind of even, and both a little bit untrustworthy, Severino and Peralta. They haven't faced the other team since March, and Milwaukee, a decent sized favorite. I don't know, man. I was thinking that I don't know. I guess I was just thinking off the doubleheader, I'd be taking Milwaukee, and also I think I trust Peralta a teeny bit more than Severino. But at the line, I didn't bet it. Total is 7.5. I wouldn't take the under in this one either. Sharp, you got anything on this one?
I don't bet Severino personally, but Peralta definitely is a guy that I bet. Now, this to me has to do with what type of lineup do the Mets send. I don't think we're going to get the projected lineup that they're getting. I think Winker is going to be in the lineup, some guy who does hit Peralta well and a decent amount of bats. So this to me right here has to do with what lineup they send out. And I'm actually looking at Peralta's strikeouts under in this spot if they give me the right lineup, as he's had problems with good chase contact guys, lineup teams. When we run through his game logs and seen how he's faced, cool. Pittsburgh, not that team, 7. Philly, not that team, 9. Arizona, great chase contact, 5 strikeouts. St. Louis, 3. St. Louis, 2. Cleveland, 3. Dodgers, 4. What I'm getting at is the strikeouts I don't expect to be there. So when it comes to the prop side of it, if they give me 6 of 9 guys, I'm going to take Peralta's strikeouts under today. Now, in those games where his strikeouts went under, did he pitch well? He went 5 solid innings versus Arizona, but once again, was Arizona hitting? No, they weren't. They haven't been hitting for the life of them. He also went 5 solid innings versus St. Louis. Is St. Louis hitting? No. St. Louis fucking worst team in baseball with runners in scoring position this year. Cleveland ain't been hitting. So what I'm getting at, guys, is the only team to get to him that wasn't striking out was the Dodgers. Dodgers were hitting at the time, both times that he faced them this year as well. If you look at the Mets, guys, it says they are hitting. And if they're not going to strike out, I think Peralta is susceptible of getting hit today. So this is the one game that I did not move on prior to lineups, as this is going to have to do a lot to do with what lineup do they send out. And then I'll go accordingly, and I'll look at the props. Now, if they want to put his outs at some stupid 17.5, I might take his outs under, because I don't think he goes 6 today. I think 5 is in the cards. And depending on what lineup, anywhere from 1 to 4 runs. So it's a big variable what I got going for Peralta, depending on what lineup they give me.
Yeah, it's a strikeout prop is 6.5. The under is heavily juiced, but even in the regular season, that would be a little bit tempting to take the under on that. I mean, certainly have strong games, but not the most reliable guy in the world. Let's see what the people in the comments section are saying. Nate Dogg 420 official, Severino over strikeouts and Mets money line. Let me just quickly glance. Yeah, the Severino line is 4.5. I'm seeing it at Caesars right now, juiced to like minus 160 on the over. Let's see what Pinnacle has. Yeah, Pinnacle has even worse, minus 167. I don't know. Maybe Severino over to get 5 strikeouts is a sneaky good bet. Goran Goki-Ninkowski likes the Mets money line, agreeing with the Ron Crawford dog play of the day. Jose Bouquett, is this going to be a pass for you?
It's so funny that I'm seeing Sabino Anguano putting his career on the line again here with the Brewers. Shout out to you, Sabino. I wish you luck. I do lean Brewers. I just don't want to bet on the teams that played yesterday, and just, especially the Mets, they blew their bullpen, especially Edwin Diaz. 40 pitches after 26 pitches on Sunday. He's not going to be available. Phil Maton, 3 straight days. He's not going to be available. Reed Garrett will probably close this game if they have a lead. He's been good. But the point is that the bullpen and their 2 key pieces are not going to be there. Honestly, I was looking at a Brewers team total over 3.5. It's at minus 135, though. So that's why I've kind of stayed off there. But, the easiest scenario might be just parlaying the Brewers with maybe, I don't know. I was going to say the Padres here and just fade both those teams that played yesterday. So I like the Brewers. I have nothing official yet. I'll mention that the Brewers did open up at 130, and we're up to minus 142 at Bet Online. And for the total, it was 7.5, minus 115 to the under. We're at 7.5, minus 117 to the under. So make those notes make whatever you will with those notes. We still have no action numbers yet, but I'm going to take the Brewers in some form or fashion here. It would be nice to know who is starting for the Mets, for the Braves, because if it's Ian Anderson, I'd love to fade him. If it's Bryce Elder, I'd love to fade that. If it's Max Fried, I'm going to be a little more hesitant to fade him. But I think I will end still up making that parlay official here. Brewers, Padres, let them win game 1. And I think that I think the Mets win this series still. I think the Mets are, have their juju magic kind of thing. This is kind of like my one upset pick of the first round if I had to give one out. I think the rest of the favorites probably beat their other opponents, and I'm excited to see what the Tigers do because that's another sneaky one. But I do think the Mets have that magic. So I'd probably take the Brewers today and then watch out for the Mets in game 2.
There's no way in hell Max Fried is pitching on 3 days rest. That's not happening.
Yeah, maybe just 1 or 2 innings. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Well,
I'd be shocked too. And he's a free agent coming. And
they need him in game 2 or 3. I mean, They can ask him to go on 4 days tomorrow if they have to. But no way are they asking a starting pitcher who just threw a damn near complete game on September 27th to pitch. No.
Yeah. And Bet Online, again, I don't know why Bet Online is listing him. And I think that's the craziest part to me that Bet Online's even listing him.
All right, well, we'll get to that game in a second. This one, I think I'm going to pass. Sabino Angiano says, if Milwaukee loses, I will never in my life return to the chat. No. Don't do that, Sabino. We need you here. Just say, if Milwaukee loses, I'll return to the chat and say,
I was wrong. We're all wrong at times.
It happened. It happens. We have a lot of other Voodoo Rangers as Severino gives up 4+ earned runs. And, JPZ says, I feel you on Peralta, but then looking at it, the Mets don't hit him. And is that going to change day after a doubleheader? Yeah. I mean, I was thinking that even though it's a playoffs, the spot is just not good for the Mets, but maybe psychologically things change in the playoffs. It's very tricky in MLB. All right. And again, Mets is the Ron Crawford MLB dog play of the day. Gorjan Dinkovsky likes the Mets. All right. Pass for me. I hope you all cash, although that's literally impossible since we have strong opinions on both sides, which is not a surprise at all. All right. Let's move on. Next game, last MLB game, Atlanta, San Diego. Yeah. Maybe the best way to bet this game is to somehow bet who's going to start because we don't know. I saw Ian Anderson earlier, which surprised me, but maybe that's not that would surprise me the most just because he has struggled in the minors with his control issues. He was suppressing runs recently, but still walking a lot of guys, which is not good. Of course, he used to be in the majors, pitched really well, but then had Tommy John surgery, and it's been a while since he's pitched in the majors, rehabbing his way back. On the other side, King for San Diego, excellent all year after a shaky first 2 months. He should be good again here. I know that Atlanta is maybe coming in here, one of the teams that's playing with house money, no pressure and all that. But San Diego looks like the real deal to me. Who's going to be starting? I don't know. King looks excellent and reliable. So even though it can be, treacherous to take big favorites in the playoffs, that's the way I'm leaning. San Diego here. We still don't know who's starting for Atlanta. Whoever it is, maybe their strikeouts under prop is worth a blind no-brainer bet. What do you think, Sharpie?
I mean, if they really want to put out Ian Anderson versus the most patient team in baseball, oh, Lord, they're going to be walk set. They'll have bases loaded. They will have 10 pitch at bats. It is crazy what these Padres are doing. I grew up in San Diego, and they've never done what they're doing to this team now. So I really think the winner of this series is going to the fucking championship. I mean, I think my Dodgers get to at least the freaking pennant. We'll get there and lose to either the Padres or Braves, but their rotation, their bullpen, their 1 through 9, the Padres are really that fucking team. They take pitches, they work at bats, they they're just brutal to any pitcher. So who knows who we get from there? What we do get is a Braves team who literally emptied everything yesterday, guys. Their two best bullpen guys, Jimenez and Iglesias, threw in both fucking games. And that's why this team has been going minus 155 all the way up to minus like 180 right now on the Padres, because there is no back end of the Braves bullpen today. There's no way they could pitch again after pitching in back-to-back games yesterday. I didn't think they'd even come out into the second game. So, hey, what do I know, right? But, yeah, you just got to go off what you think. So it's hard for me to back anything Braves because they did party. Those fuckers were drinking. Now, did they get drunk? I didn't see no crazy videos like that, but they were definitely shooting champagne and drinking a little bit. So, cool. At least they're going east to west and not losing time, so I don't think the time's going to affect them. But what I want to back is King. And like I said earlier, I do have alt team total at minus 126 parlay of the Brave team total under 4.5 with the Tigers team total under 4.5 alted both ways. But I'm going to wait for lineups, even though I don't think I need to wait for lineups. I really don't, because you know what you're going to get with the Braves. You know what 9 you're getting. Now, there was like, do they put in Merrifield today? And that's probably why I waited, because Merrifield in 8 at-bats has only struck out 1 time. But I don't think they're just going to change their lineup to change their lineup. I think we get the normal 9. So what I am looking at is King strikeouts over 5.5. Mm-hmm. Now, if you look at how he is home and road, his ERA is 1 worse at home than on the road. Still decent both ways, but he's been shut out when it comes to earned runs on the road. I just said strikeouts, guys, where this guy at home has a 32% strikeout rate compared to 23% on the road. Now, I talk about the electricity a home crowd brings. If you haven't watched Padre baseball the last 3 years in the playoffs, this is one of the most electric places in the game going right now. They're going to be sold out. They're going to show up, and every 2 strikes, they're going to cheer for death. And King likes to give them death at home. He likes to respond to the crowd. He responds to that electricity. And in his report, or in his they talked to him before the game a couple days ago about starting game 1. And he goes, man, I pitched for the Yankees. I've pitched in big games my whole life. I'm ready for this. So I think King dominates today. I mean, does he go deep? He doesn't go deep all the time, especially when you're racking them strikeouts up. But I think 6 strikeouts is definitely in the cards today, even if he does go 5 innings. But I like to project the guy to go 6 through 6. His outs are 15.5. But like I said, there was too many times looking at his 5 innings where he had 6 or more to where it's like, just don't put Merrifield in, and then I can take that 5.5. So definitely looking at taking King strikeouts at home in a fucking environment that's going to have Zeus freaking worried about getting shocked.
Yeah. I agree. I think that, I'm willing to take San Diego a few different ways. I'll start with just the Padres money line, and that will be action. Doesn't matter who starts for Atlanta. Minus 168 bet online. Padres money line minus 168 bet online. Probably will be looking very hard at the strikeout prop under for whoever is starting for Atlanta if they hang it. And it seems like probably Padres first 5, depending on who's starting, might be a good bet as well. What do you think about King under 1.5 earned runs, or the Atlanta first 5 team total under 1.5?
I think 2 runs is his limit. Like, I think that can easily happen. And I think the Padres are okay with 2-3 runs because, like the chat's saying, this may be the best bullpen in baseball, the Padres. They have 3 legit closers. And if you go by ERA the last month, it'll say they're like 5th or 6th. But that's where I bring up where Cleveland, Kansas City, and fucking Detroit have all been playing each other. Of course, they've got low ERAs. The Padres have been playing the fucking Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, and teams all fighting to get into the playoffs this whole last month. So they're legit. They're a top 3 bullpen. I think they're comfortable with a quality start. To ask King to not give up 2 runs is kind of, I think, crazy. I think he does give up 2 runs, but it's just like, when do they happen? And I don't want to guess. So Maybe it's just pull them down to 5 strikeouts and Padres win and not get cute. That's probably, that's another way I'm going to look at it. And that's probably the safe way. Like I said, I'm a safe bettor, and his outs are 15.5. And I hate to ask for guys to get more than 1 per inning. I really do. That's just 15 pitches per inning. You can ask for 1, but to ask for more, it's like, man, I don't like to do that. I do think the Padres win. I think he goes 5 to 7 innings, gives up 2 runs or less, and that bullpen is closing it out. So we've got a rested Padres bullpen versus a back end of the Braves of no matter who pitches, that won't be there. They're just not going to be there in Jimenez and Iglesias today. So, yes, they've got other arms. I get it, but I think this is a Padres spot. I really do. I hate to say it as I'm wearing all my Dodgers gear.
All right, one more play I'm adding on. Atlanta Braves, full game, team total under 3.5 minus 147 Pinnacle. 3.5 minus 147 Pinnacle. I guess I'm a little bit worried that maybe, if the Padres explode, I'm sorry?
I like that bet a lot, dude. Like, if he gets hit, it's 2, 3 in 1 inning, and then he gets to that bullpen, and it can be after that. So I like that. I think the full game is the way to go. I already took the alted team total vagina parlay, but definitely like it.
All right, a little bit worried that could be, if it's a blowout, maybe Atlanta will get like a backdoor sneaky over, but that's okay. Once again, if it loses, that's all right. I'm going to take the Padres, but action minus 168 bet online at Atlanta, team total under, full game 3.5 minus 147 Pinnacle. Jose Bouquett, what do you think? You're going to tail us on this?
Yeah, I'm going to be on the Padres. Like I said, I probably will just parlay both of those teams playing the doubleheader teams from yesterday. If I had to bet money, and like you were saying now, Pete, if I had to bet money on the starting pitcher, I'm guessing it's Elder. I would be shocked if they started Ian Anderson. Baffled. I just do not think there's any way he starts. So I'm guessing it's Bryce Elder, and Max Fried goes tomorrow in a must-win game for them. But I mean, I think the Padres are going to be the dark horse team that everyone's going to talk about. Great lineup, veteran leadership with Manny Machado. Their bullpen's incredible, and they've got Musgrove, Yu Darvish, Dylan Cease, and Michael King is also very good. So they've got everything they need. It'll be very interesting to see if they can hit, and I can't wait for a Dodgers-Padres NLDS, and then a potentially Phillies-Padres NLCS, which will be very fun. But
all right,
yeah,
sounds good. Mr. Heat saying Sharpie, how you like Framber strikeouts? I think Sharpie likes his outs prop a lot more because Framber does get a lot of grounders, so it's possible he could have a deep, excellent start and not get many strikeouts, right, Sharpie?
I'm gonna say though it's high for a reason, so it's over or nothing. But the books also know they're striking out 31% of the time heading into this game. And I like to back Framber's outs personally. What's going to hit first? So do you think he has 7 strikeouts or does he go 6 innings? And I like to buckle in of what's going to happen. We got a guy who's content pitching the contact in Houston versus the team not hitting fucking lefties. So I just thought his outs was the play. I've seen this guy numerous of times pitch to contact. So I get it. It's over or nothing because of how bad and how many lefties there. I believe the lineup did come out. How many lefties did they send? Here we go. We've got 1, 2, 3 lefties. What is Detroit doing sending lefties out versus fucking Framber Valdez? Whatever. That's their freaking demise. But I get the Astros. You have to play Tucker and Alvarez. But Sweeney and Meadows, you couldn't have found it in anybody else for them today? Oh, my goodness. That back end is really bad. So, yeah, his strikeouts are over or nothing with 3 lefties in there. Holy crap.
Meantime, look at this. Nutflush Allen says San Diego bats will choke. I'm going to copy and paste this just to see if that actually happens. Look at this. Nutflush Allen would not post that.
I hope they do.
Where is it? Radio Sharp Picks likes Padre win game 1 and win series. That's at even money. Coin with a whole bunch of props there. Wow. Look at that. So not all San Diego, unqualified love here. Not Flush Allen. San Diego bats will choke. And then you got Quite Vike, not quiet. Don't nobody wanna. Trust a Tech in game 2. King ain't it over -140. So loose your money. Quite Vike, not quiet. Also,
umpires are out. We got Tony Randozzo, a super hitters umpire. Super tight zone in the Detroit and Houston game.
Wow, okay. That's not good.
At least you got the pitchers to hit that little zone.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm looking for ground balls, man. I didn't ask for strikeouts. But if someone strikes out, it's going to be a whole bunch of Detroit guys walking back with their head down.
Wow. Quite Vike, not quiet, really, with some strong anti-San Diego betting opinions here. Gravy bets. What up, Gravy? Nate Dog 420, Detroit will surprise many folks. All right, I guess we're here. I guess we're done. I guess we've capped it. Wow. All right. Sharpie, you want to quickly go over all your favorite plays for today's card?
Yeah, let's see. I'm on the Framer Valdez outs over 17.5 at a pick of -110. I know there was a book. I believe someone told me Bet Rivers had 16.5. I mean, fuck, every out's better. I'll pay juice if I can get it, but I didn't. I got 17.5.
Sharpie, could you say that again? Sorry, you went robot mode for a second. So say what you said again real quick.
Yeah. Take Framer Valdez's outs over 17.5 at -110. I believe Bet Rivers has 16.5. Someone told me, but I don't have Bet Rivers, so is what it is. I bet 17.5, but every out matters in a playoff game. So if you can get one cheaper, go fucking get it. I have a half unit alt parlay, 4.5 team total under of the Tigers, hooked to the Braves team total under 4.5. Got that at -126. And then I have a full unit on the under first 7 at a 5.5 -130 in the Ragans Burns matchup in the second game.
All right. Thanks so much. I'll quickly go over my stuff. Then we'll go to Jose Bouquett. I took first 5 under 3.5 -137. Detroit, Houston, KC, Baltimore. Also unders. First 5 under 3.5 -118 Pinnacle, and neither team to get to 4 at +210. I took the Braves team total under 3.5 -147 Pinnacle, and I did take Padres money line -168 Bet Online, but Nut Flush Allen predicting San Diego bats will choke, and quiet, not quiet. Wait, sorry, I want to. Yeah, Quiet Vike, not Quite Vike, not quiet. Very disdainful of San Diego betting. He might prove to be the smart one here. We'll see. Jose Bouquett, review your official plays, please.
So I'm on the unders in the first 2 game. Under 6 in Detroit, Houston, even money. Under 6.5, Kansas City, Baltimore, even money. And I'm going to make it official. I don't know what the odds are for it yet, so I can't make it official yet. But obviously, follow me on Twitter at Jose Bouquett. You'll see the odds. I'm going to parlay the Brewers and the Padres together, fading both of those teams after those doubleheaders. I don't know what the price is yet, but we'll obviously get that to you later. But those are going to be my 3 bets here today.
Wow. And I am giving the Poster of the Show award to Quite Vike, not quiet. Quite Vike, not quiet. My personal Poster of the Show award to Quite Vike, not quiet. His last comment, I usually watch playoffs from the sick wood, but he might be trying to post psych ward. I'm not exactly sure, but I like this guy. Quite Vike, not quiet. Strong opinion, not liking San Diego bets as a big favorite. All right, Sharpie. Motherfucking Sharpie. Thanks so much for making this MLB segment. Have a great week. What shows are you doing this week, Sharpie? Tell everyone.
I really don't do shows now that my baseball season's over. I just randomly pop onto yours and Jimmy's show now in the morning, and Jose's randomly when he lets me, if he's not like, I just want to be done in 30 minutes today, Sharpie. Oh, well, I talk 30 minutes per fucking game, so I'm not allowed. Okay. But, yeah, man, let's just keep it rolling. Let's freaking have some fun and enjoy baseball all fucking day long. Before I leave real quick,
go ahead.
Google is at a 6.5 on FanDuel, 5.5 -140 on DK. Okay? been watching these lines for years, man. Tells me Scooble is getting 6 on the fucking money or getting 7+ today. Okay, just follow FanDuel. Okay, FanDuel is the sharper book. They know. So there's my hint to you guys watching props. If FanDuel's got a different number, just pay attention.
Sharpie, I'm so great that you randomly popped in today. We'll roll the dice next week. Hopefully, bang, randomly pop up again next week. Thanks so much, Sharpie. Talk to you very soon.
Yeah.
All right. So, Jose Bouquett. Now we got 2 college games. Is Dabby Cab ready?
Yeah. Yep. Ready when you are.
2 very interesting college games. Dabby Cab, if you're there, you can pop in. Dabby Cab, great to see you. 2 real fucking interesting games. Of course, we're going to cover the Houston game, who has been shut out for 2 weeks in a row, and then we're going to cover the Missouri Texas A&M game, which is the old, ranked team, top 10 ranked team as a dog situation, which you see in college football. Dabby Cab, great to see you. How's college football going for you this year in general? Feeling good?
Good. My volume's a little lower. I went 3-2 on Saturday, but I'm hitting right at 60% right now. And volume be damned. As long as I win, that's what matters.
If I went 3-2, I'd be posting that everywhere I possibly could. And then people would be like, well, what'd you do the week before? I'd be like, that's not what I'm posting about right now. I'm posting about this last week. 3-2. All right, Dabby Cap. Let's get into it. Let's talk about these 2 games. First game, I am going to give an official play in the Missouri game. It might be wrong, but I'm going to give one. First game, though, I really don't know. You chose this game, so there's obviously something that you're liking or seeing. Houston, TCU, Friday game. TCU, of course, a big favorite here, 16 or 17. Not sure where it is right now. Total right around 50 or 49. TCU, beat Kansas in their last game. It was a pick'em game. They way outgained them, but they're still just a little bit of a unreliable team as a big favorite, pretty much against anyone. Now here they're going up against Houston, 2 straight shutout losses. So this is like the ultimate, if you want to buy or sell, it's the ultimate low time. It's the ultimate, if you're fading Houston here, big time sell low situation for Houston. 2 straight shutout losses. Now TCU doesn't have, a defense that is terribly impressive this year so far from what I've seen. But the question is, what is Houston going to be able to do on offense? Donovan Smith was supposed to be better this year, getting shut out by Iowa State. Maybe you give him a pass, but 2 weeks in a row getting shut out, I don't know. That's very tough. I don't really trust, TCU is this big of a favorite. So before I hear what you have to say, I guess I'd be leaning under, thinking that Houston's defense is going to step up here and maybe hold things down, and maybe Houston's offense tries to shorten the game. So maybe I would be leaning under. Very interesting handicapping situation, though, Dabby. What do you think?
I think that I'm going to regret what I'm about to do, but I sent the game in, and I'm going to do it. We're here. We're making a cutout for it. I'm going to give you guys something here that goes against my better judgment as far as making it a cutout, because this what I'm going to give you has been paying bills for me. Like, very serious. I've been putting large bets on it this weekend. I put as much money as my book would let me put on the prop, like that type of prop. Like, this has been paying my bills. I've talked about it, so people have heard me say it if you listen to me. But now you're really going to hear it. And again, I hope making a cutout for it doesn't make it a mush. But it's going to be a player prop. Before I get into it, I'll say this. Houston might have the worst offense in college football. You touched on that. 2 weeks in a row without even putting up a point on the board. But on the flip side, TCU's defense, I don't want to say is equally as bad, but they are not good. And you touched on that also. And I do not trust TCU's defense. I definitely don't trust TCU as a 16.5-point favorite. For the past 2 years, we've seen TCU do everything that they can in games like this, whether it's week 1 against Stanford, right? Everything that they can as big favorites to keep the game down to a 1-possession game. And it seems like it always goes down to the last possession. Colorado last year, the first game of the year. Stanford this year, the first game of the year. TCU playing people close, it's what they do. My only concern for this bet is that Houston lays another egg, right? But I don't think that's going to happen because of how bad this TCU's defense is. I really do believe in how bad they are. And I believe that as a favorite, they keep games close. Okay, so where I'm going to go here is Josh Hoover's passing prop. This is something that I've cashed last year, and I'm 4-0 when I bet it this year. I took it against Stanford. he had 353 yards. I took it against UCF. He had 402 yards. I took it against SMU. He had 396 yards. I took it against Kansas. He had 356 yards. They put his prop at 316.5 this week. No question in my mind does he go over it if Houston keeps this game close. If Houston does not score and TCU beats the shit out of them, maybe he doesn't get there. But if this is a close football game, which I think TCU has shown that they play regardless of what the spread is, if this is a close football game, he has another 350 yards passing. He doesn't game in and game out. The only game that he didn't do it this year was Long Island University. Okay. And I don't really care about what happened against Long Island University. He didn't have to throw the football there. Right. But in these games right here, he's going to chunk it. He plays backyard football, Pete. He throws the football as far as he can down the field. He's going to throw a couple interceptions, but he's also going to get a few 50 and 60-yard completions. And it's just a prop that I think I want to bring it to the Pub Sports Radio fans. So you guys are welcome. Don't mush my shit.
Wow. Well, the Nutflush Allen liking a smash spot for TCU team total over. So that goes in line right with what you're saying.
This prop has made me a very, very significant amount of money already this year.
That's incredible. I guess I'm a little bit worried. You're not worried about like Houston's defense being like, top 40, like a nice little defense there?
I think Josh Hoover and TCU's offense is very good. I think their defense is the problem. So even if, Houston does play a decent defensive game, I think TCU still he finds the open receiver and he can throw the ball. I'm a big fan of Hoover, just not TCU.
Yeah. Wow. Houston did. They had a good game against Oklahoma, didn't they? I didn't watch that game, but was there something fluky about it? They held down their scoring. I'm just thinking out loud here. Processing
Oklahoma, the quarterback struggles, and we've seen Oklahoma. Heck, against Auburn this weekend, Oklahoma's offense, as fast as Hawkins is, and as as explosive as some of their receivers are, they're struggling a little bit on offense. And like I said, Hoover's been a well-oiled machine this is the second year where I've been hitting his prop. And I've watched it all year. It started at 280, and they put it up at 286. Then they put it at 304. Then they put it at 308 last week. Now they got it at 316 this week. They don't know what to do with it. They should put it at 360. I'm going to be honest. It should be 350 or 360.
Wow. And Nutflush Allen saying smash spot for the TCU team total over, which is like 33 and a half minus 104 at Pinnacle. So if it's a smash spot for the TCU team total over, then either the game's going to fly over or TCU's finally going to cover a huge favorite spread.
One of the two, yeah.
Wow. Let me look at other comments and see what Nutflesh says Cincinnati put up 34. I'm not crazy about the Cincinnati offense. Wow. Voodoo Ranger says, I just won't bet Hoover's under. Okay. Pong's Clip says Houston is bad. Yes. Question is exactly how bad. I'm not exactly sure. All right. Well, I'm gonna pass on this one, but strong opinion from Nutflush Allen about the TCU team total over, and Dabby Cab liking the Huber over passing prop. Interesting. I'll be very interested to see how this turns out. All right, you ready to move on, Dabby?
Absolutely.
All right, Missouri Texas A&M. This one, I'm going to have a bet on this one. If it loses, that's all right. But I looked at this one. Of course, Missouri, top 10 ranked team off of bye. Beat Vandy and OT the game before the bye. Obviously, they didn't cover ATS, and that was, by all accounts, a disappointing performance for them. And Texas A&M beat Arkansas last week, got outgained by Arkansas. Texas A&M, a decent team, not really world beaters, though. And they do tend to have a very strong, home field edge. Missouri, very, very strong in the trenches, though. They're not really punching the ball in offensively, which they should have been doing this year because they retained a lot of the elements that made their passing game more explosive last season, and we haven't really seen it here. And Texas A&M, they're not a bad team, I don't think, but they definitely, considering the defenses that they've played, they should have better offensive numbers, I think. Their quarterback, Reed, runs well, not a great passer. doesn't really turn the ball over that much so far this year. But in general, I'm thinking that this is, despite Missouri being, the top 10 ranked team as a dog, going on the road against a team that has a strong home field advantage. First half, I'm thinking Missouri comes in and they win the battle of the trenches and they head into halftime with a lead. So I'm gonna make Missouri first half an official play for me. Second half, not exactly sure, because maybe Missouri's tough play in the trenches makes them get gassed more easily or something like that. I think it's a good spot for Missouri early in the game. Could be wrong. What's your take on this one? Dabby Cat, baby.
Not to go just like right the trenches though. I don't know about that. Missouri might have the better skill positions like at receiver and stuff, but this A&M team is look. I'll start by saying this. I think this is a game that's going to be a lot like, and when I say it's going to be a lot like, I don't mean how it's played. I mean how it's bet. I think this game is going to be a lot like the Tennessee-Oklahoma game or the Oklahoma-Auburn game where we saw, Auburn flip to a favorite before kickoff. And look, Auburn played a better game. They were winning the whole game. They were up 21-10, driving down the field. They just lost. But you know what? I'd rather be lucky and win than feel like I was right and lose any day of the week, right? I want to win. That's all that matters. And I feel like this game is going to be a lot like those. I think the public and the quote-unquote sharps will both kind of pile on Missouri late.
Really?
I do. I mean, maybe I'm wrong here. But it is at home for A&M. Maybe I'm wrong on this one, Pete, but I kind of do feel like that it'll be like those other twos. I say it all the time that wins and losses are not transitional. It's about quantifying the competition.
Sure.
That being said, Missouri has not played one single quality team this year. Okay. Right. Not a single quality opponent. Arguably Vanderbilt, I guess you could say, is the best team they played, and they took them to OT, right? Again, I know wins and losses and games are not transitional, but this is going to be the toughest environment without question, right? We've seen the environment here at Kyle Field, and by far the most physical game in the trenches that Missouri has played.
Yes.
And that's why I came back to it, like the trenches part, because that's kind of what's in my cap, is this is going to be the most physical game that Missouri's played without question. Now we talk about Marcel Reed. He missed several wide. I watch game film on A&M. I'm a fan. It's something I do. So I actually go back and sit there and watch the game film, not just the highlights. I watch the actual game film, and he missed a bunch of open receivers. I mean, wide open receivers last week. He needs to do better at working through his progressions, right? All that being said, if Reed played against Notre Dame, you can't convince me that A&M's not undefeated right now. Just because of the fact that he has the ability to make things happen with his feet opens up the field, and the field was not open at all against Notre Dame. So I'm going to say it again. If he played against Notre Dame, I think A&M wins. You see people like Le'Veon Moss starting to get going in the backfield. It was nice to see Amari Daniels to get a big reception for A&M. My biggest concern for them all year has been their skill positions, and we're starting to see some people step up, right? A&M's offense still needs a lot of work. And it's just now starting to look productive to me. Their defense, however, is elite, and it is really starting to come into form here. And you look at Brady Cook from Missouri, he's a great quarterback, but there's going to be a lot of instances where he doesn't even get a full 2 seconds to get the ball off, right? We saw it with Notre Dame and Riley Leonard. It's just something we've seen, and Cook is not the most mobile quarterback, right? He's not as mobile as Leonard is. He's definitely not as mobile as Taylon Green is for Arkansas. And so you look at some of the bigger games for A&M this year, the opposing quarterbacks were more mobile than Cook is going to be here. And I think if you take the mobility out from this A&M defensive line, I think it is going to be a long, hard game for this Missouri offense. I got the Aggies here. I took them -1.5, -110. Give me the Ags.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten bet up. I mean, obviously, there's no question this is by far their toughest game of the year for Missouri, and it's it's their first road game and a very tough one, of course. So I might not. I have offensive line metrics that look pretty good for Missouri, and I'm making an educated guess that that their passing game should revert back to that. Yeah, so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're right on that. If there are holes in A&M's defense, it's in the secondary. And I wouldn't say if there are holes. They have holes in their secondary. Brady Cook can throw the football. You can get plus a half a point or plus a point in the first half. I don't hate your bet, Pete. Even though I'm on the other side, I don't hate Missouri in the first half. For the full game,
really. You're half on the other side. I mean, I definitely the longer the game goes, if this were 6 quarters, I'd like Texas A&M a lot more than even just 4 quarters. But yeah, all right. So we could easily cash of our bets. I'm going to take Missouri though. I could take plus a half minus 108. But fuck it, I'll just take the Pinnacle line. Missouri first half money line plus 107. Current line of Pinnacle. Missouri first half money line plus 107. Current line Pinnacle. Dabby Cab likes Texas A&M full game. He took him at 1.5. It is now up. It's up 2 juiced or 2.5 now market wide. So the line is definitely moving in their direction. I mean, I was kind of expecting that this would go in Texas A&M's favor and probably close at 3, possibly even. I was expecting maybe sharps and the public to come in on Texas A&M. No,
I think maybe midweek, like tomorrow and Thursday, maybe you'll see that 3. But I would imagine by kickoff it comes back down to 1.5. But maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. But I say by kickoff it's probably at the opening line.
Okay, well, let's see what the comments section has to say. Nutflush16. Here's a tip for you guys. College football has a soft spot in betting. Certain small schools have props that you can take advantage of. I know it's not popular, but I'm looking to make money. Shout out to you at Nutflush16. Let me see. Comments here. Poster of the show. Quiet Vike, not quiet. Just shooting bullets all over the place. Loving this guy. All right.
His words don't even make – is that a bot? Because his words don't even make sense.
They make sense if you know how to read them.
Oh, okay. I don't want to hear that LA Laker Missouri gang.
It's like going to an oracle and being like, I don't understand what it. Well, yeah, that's the whole point.
Go get those LA Laker Missouri gang.
The meaning is inside of you, Dabby Cab. It's not on the screen. It's inside of you. All right. Well, I might. Yeah. Okay. This is obviously was when I decided to make this bet and pick. It's obviously treacherous. There's a million reasons why. First road game. By far their toughest opponent of the year, and you're right. Possibly Texas A&M underperforming as well. Off the bye as a dog, I took a shot with it. Dabby Cab in Texas A&M full game -2. You can give you that -2. Pinnacle has -113. Other places have -110. Very nice. I'm not seeing any strong comments on this one though. No people kind of quiet on this Missouri Texas A&M one. Yeah, it's a tough one. Possibly. Live betting might be definitely if Texas A&M goes down early, I'd be looking at them hard for a live bet. It does feel like it's going to go right down to the wire. All right, Dabby Cab, baby. Thanks so much, Dabby Cab, once again. What are you doing this week? Tell us everything, and then we'll let you go.
Oh man, I'm right here, Pete. You guys know where to find me. I'm Pub Sports Radio. I'll be with Jimmy. I'll be on the tailgate here on Saturday. Pete. I know that the weekends get busy, but if you're ever free on a Saturday, man, I'd love to have you if you ever want to come hang out.
I would love to. All right, I'll see what's going on. I'm just sleeping and this and that and soccer
any
and
Saturday.
Everything.
You pick one. It can be 4 weeks from now. Any Saturday, I'd love to have you, man. And I know everybody in the chat would love to have you too.
Well, anyone watching these for the first time is like, who is this guy, Dabby Cab, and where can we find him? You can find him right here.
There you go.
At Pub Sports Radio, baby. Thank you so much, Dabby. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Stop.
Jose Bouquett. All right, so there we go. The TCU game. Nutflesh Allen loving the team total over. Dabby Cab loving the quarterback prop over. Missouri and Texas A&M. Dabby Cab liking Texas A&M full game. I'm taking Missouri first half. Jose Bouquett. I think we can wrap up the show. We can't talk about WNBA. I looked at both of those games. Ski Prophet in the beginning of the show said he likes Minnesota, which I was leaning towards as well. Of course, Minnesota lost the first game, but second game, it's an obvious bounce back spot for them. The Stars should be better. It's in a playoff game like this, 4.5 or 5 points, especially with a low total like that. A little scary, but I was leaning that way as well. And Ski Prophet liked it enough to post about it. Jose Bouquett, should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I would just quickly mention in that game, Lynx Suns, 57% of the bets, 97% of the money on the Lynx.
Really? Yeah.
So that's all. But no, we're good, Pete. It was a great show. Exciting to get playoff baseball in, but it's going to be a great one.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And then the Vegas Liberty game is just tough because Liberty, they won game 1, of course, won it pretty comfortably. And, they just held down Aja Wilson. And is she going to be able to, are they going to be able to figure something out for her? Maybe, but maybe not, I don't know if they're going to be able to, create space for her and all that. The Liberty are looking really good. Their top players playing well, playing as a unit. So it's a little bit tough for me to try to pull the trigger on Vegas. But Minnesota, I might be on that one. We'll see. Not going to make anything official. Robert Franklin, Missouri, +2. There you go. There's an opinion on Missouri full game. Justin McElvey, appreciate the show. We appreciate you, Justin McElvey. Thank you so much. Shout out to Nasty Nate, Kongs, Clips, and of course, Quite Vike, Not Quiet. You know, what does the future hold for him? I don't know. But this show, he gets the award. Poster of the show, Quite Vike, Not Quiet, who says he usually watches the playoffs from Sick Wood, which I think he might have been trying to type Psych Ward, and it got, auto-corrected to that. And his final bet of his final two bets of the show, his final two comments of the show, Educated Bets Folio and I Shot. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks so much for being part of the community. Quite Vike, Not Quiet. We'll see y'all next Tuesday.